Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, David, for the kind introduction. How's everyone doing this morning? Well, I'm really excited. I'm very excited and happy to have this opportunity to report back to you on all the accomplishments that have been happening in our community the last 12 months. And I'm even happier to share some of the exciting ideas that my colleagues and I are working on for the upcoming future. You know, Tempe is a progressive city. I like to think of Tempe as a can-do city. And part of being a can-do city is thinking big about economic possibilities, thinking big about the services and the amenities we provide, and thinking big about planning for the Tempe of tomorrow. That is really what I want to talk to you about today. Our greatest strengths as a city is that our leadership thinks big as a team. We are lucky enough to be represented by a dedicated council who are committed to guiding Tempe forward to even a bigger and better future. Joining us this morning, it's due for me. I mean, I'm honored to work with such a great council. I think it's an honor for me to reintroduce my council colleagues. We have Vice Mayor Anish Shakurjan with us, council members Robin Arredondo Savage, Shanna Ellis, Joel Navarro, Corey Woods, and Colby Granville. Can we please give them a round of applause? And could you guys please stand? I'm also glad to welcome our city manager, Andrew Ching, as well as our assistant city manager, Jeff Kalaga. Let's give them a warm welcome as well. I would also like to recognize our past council members that are with us in the audience today. I'd like to introduce my dad. I know him as former Mayor and Congressman Harry Mitchell. Dad, thank you so much for being here. We also have with us former council member Dick Neuheisel, Joseph Lewis, Pat Hatton, Barbara Sherman, and Don Casano. Could you all please stand? Thank you so much for being here. We're very fortunate to have with us some elected school board members from the Tempe Elementary School District. We have Jim Lemon and Rochelle Wells, so thank you all for being here as well. And if I missed anyone, I do apologize. So I really can't see out here, but if you guys get my attention, I'll try to recognize you. These two individuals I want to introduce next are very important to me. I want to recognize my wife, Debbie. Debbie, thank you so much for being here and for your support. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without your support. And more importantly, I want to thank my mom for being here. Mom, thank you so much for being here. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you and Dad. So thank you guys very much. Well, as you guys all know, this event is hosted each year by the Tempe Chamber of Commerce. And I got to tell you, we really do appreciate the long-standing partnership that we have with them. A special thank you to Marianne Miller and Sean Donovan and the entire Chamber Board of Directors and team. I can't thank you guys enough for the support that you give the city of Tempe, and we wish you much success in the upcoming year. Because guess what? You think this year is good? Wait till you see next year. You know, I wouldn't be able to do what we're doing also today without a dedicated staff and a team to help put this event on. I want to recognize Stephen Methvin, Elizabeth Higgins, Nikki Ripley, Chris Baxter, Donna Kennedy, and Skip Neely. So thank you guys very much for helping put today on. You know, as I look across this room, it's exciting to see so many of our business leaders, our community partners, and friends here. Your support is so vital to Tempe's success. In fact, we are where we are today because of folks like yourselves in this room and your commitment to our community. When I thought about what I wanted to say today, the business community was very much on my mind. I want to give you a picture of how we think big to attract quality jobs to our city. We know those jobs are important because they translate into increased services as well as better quality of life for our residents. With residents in mind, in the spring, I've created a new opportunity for our residents to hear about the services and the programs that are important to them. I will be calling it the State of Our Neighborhoods. So I hope you guys will be able to join us in the spring. It'll be an excellent opportunity for residents to hear about how the council is working to continually improve the quality of life in our city. And I hope you'll join us. Tempe is a city, as you may not know, is made up of 166,000 residents in only a 42 square mile area. But we manage both to feel like a small town as well as a major metropolitan area. We found a way to be a regional voice, and as a result, we've attracted regional headquarters, world-class events, and research and tech companies. Our size has inspired us and previous councils to be creative, to really think big, because we can't really physically expand our borders, but we must make the most of what we have. We work to see the greatest possibilities in every part of our community. There's a quote by Robert F. Kennedy that I think really does apply to the evolution of Tempe. He quotes, "There are those that look at things the way they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not." Think about that. How fitting for Tempe. When I look at our community and I see the progress that we've made over the last 30 years, it's amazing. It was the foresight of the past city leaders, some of the ones that I mentioned this morning, to build the infrastructure and the amenities that we are so proud of today. The town lake that we built from a blighted and dry riverbed, a downtown that is thriving, our world-class Center for the Arts, as well as the ASU Research Park. All of these things make Tempe what it is today. Tempe was one of the first cities to fully embrace public transportation. Tempe approved a permanent half-cent sales tax to fund public transit, including the possibility of rail. We were thinking big, and because we thought big, we embraced the idea of light rail so early. We are the only city where it runs from border to border. Each of these projects brought our community the benefits of more jobs and more economic commercial development. And when money is invested into a community, it translates into a better quality of life for our residents. We gain needed revenue to reinvest back into our community. As our nation continues to recover from the economic downturn, so does our city. And for Tempe, that means that with every project that starts construction, we gain new ground. Every business that opens in our community is another step forward. And when you look at the progress we've made and see how far we have come over the last year, it's easy to see why we're at the forefront of the recovery. One of these projects is the Residence Inn by Marriott in downtown Tempe, which opened 2 months ago with 173-room hotel space. Tempe has the lowest hotel vacancy rates in the valley, and this hotel will provide another option for travelers who want to stay in our downtown. Let me just say, if you haven't been to the rooftop deck to look out over the valley, you're really missing out, because there's no doubt that this hotel will keep visitors in our city. But of course, I don't want to forget to mention our host hotel this morning. Because of the success of Tempe Mission Palms and Ken McKenzie, we are now seeing much interest in bringing more service-oriented hotels right here to our downtown. The developers of the Residence Inn also saved some pieces of Tempe history, and for that, they should be commended. The hotel was built upon the grounds of the legendary Bandersnatch Brew Pub, which I'm sure most of you in this room remember, and maybe half of you would admit to frequenting. While the Bandersnatch is gone, it is not forgotten, and I'm glad that the new Residence Inn didn't forget it either. Instead, they salvaged the artwork, the door from the original bar, and paid tribute to Bandersnatch's theme, Alice in Wonderland. On behalf of the people in this room that admit their love of Bandersnatch, I would just like to say thank you for preserving a little bit of history, but man, I'm glad that door can't talk. In addition to the Residence Inn, the University House houses more than 600 students in a private student housing in what used to be a vacant lot across the street from Sun Devil Stadium. Combined both the hotel and the University House, it will continue to bring a 24/7 vitality to our already busy downtown. But these are hardly our successes. The past year has been very, very good for Tempe. We have added $700 million in capital investment. 700. We developed more than 3 million square feet of commercial space. And on Mill Avenue alone, we have added over 50 new businesses since I've taken office as mayor. And best of all, we've added over 5,000 jobs to Tempe. These are huge numbers. You know, as I mentioned earlier, and me particularly when I stand with the rest of my Valley mayors, Tempe isn't the biggest city in the Valley, but clearly, we are an economic engine. The year ahead also looks very promising. We have several new residential developments underway, including the Lofts at Hayden Ferry, Hanover Project, Argo at Town Lake. These projects will provide housing for even more people that want to be part of an urban atmosphere in downtown Tempe. One project I'm excited to see is the conversion of Madcap Theaters at Centerpoint into a new AMC theater. It is currently underway and is set to open this spring. I'm also proud to announce that Fox Restaurants Concept is bringing a restaurant to the downtown area, just off Farmer Avenue and First Street. You know, Sam Fox restaurants are considered to be a destination by many, and this is the first one to come to Tempe. And when it's open, not only will it provide a new modern destination restaurant for our residents, but it will also employ nearly 200 people. You know, this site is very near and dear to me because it's the former site of Thorne's Architectural Woodworking, John Thorne. And I had my first job there. I worked there when I was in high school all the way through college. And what's unique about John Thorne and his company, they are spread out. You can see his work throughout the whole valley. Even in our own council chambers, the wood paneling and the dais all came from Thorne's Architectural Woodworking fixtures. I helped install a lot of the cabinets in Terminal 4 at Sky Harbor. So I got to tell you, it's a little bit of history for me. And, you know, and John was one that liked to eat, and he definitely liked to have a drink. So I think having a Fox Concept restaurant there is very fitting for John Thorne. So thank you, Sam. Sam, if you're here, could you please stand? Thank you, Sam. Hey, thank you very much, Sam, for coming. But downtown Mill Avenue is not just for restaurants and retail. We have some major players. And players like Allstate, Silicon Valley Bank, and LifeLock are expanding and staying put in downtown. Our downtown has only 3% left to fill. The office buildings built less than 5 years ago are nearly full. And in order to accommodate the need of new office space, Hayden Ferry Lakeside recently started construction on its third tower. I would like to recognize and thank Nancy Horman of the downtown Tempe community for the role that she and her team has helped play in this success, so thank you. ASU is an important partner in our growth. One exciting development currently under construction is ASU's College Avenue Commons. ASU broke ground on the 5-story, 130,000 square foot collaborative learning space in January. It will house the Del E. Webb School of Construction and will provide active classroom space and have a huge marketplace and will be also known as the university's official visitors center. The classroom space on college will bring a steady supply of students to the area and will help activate future development on 6th and 7th Streets in between College and Mill Avenues. This is an area of our downtown that has major potential. It just needs investment. And if we think big, that's exactly what will happen. ASU is focused on their stadium district. This project in and itself is another example of thinking big. It encompasses 330 acres. That's 50 city blocks and 9 million square feet of mixed-use development. That's huge. The project will revive ASU's athletic facilities by redeveloping and building office, research, athletic space, as well as retail space. We're excited to coordinate with ASU to get this project off the ground. Not only will this new district contribute to the city's general fund, it will also create design jobs and construction jobs, and it will create a permanent job opportunities for our residents. It's clear that the land surrounding Tempe Town Lake is our richest development. The lake changed the entire landscape of Tempe and proved to be one of the most visionary projects. But this wasn't an easy task. No game-changing development ever is. It required a mayor and a council with vision who weren't afraid to think big. And when voters in Maricopa County voted down the measure to create a 30-mile greenbelt along the Salt River, it was the city of Tempe, and a different Mayor Mitchell, I might add, who moved it forward. They looked at the dry riverbed and they asked, why not? The city of Tempe took a chance on a grand vision and spent $65 million to build Tempe Town Lake and the original amenities around it. Now we have a center of recreation and a major job creator. In 1989, when the city first adopted the Rio Salado Master Plan, would anyone have ventured to say that as of 2012, Town Lake would have returned approximately $825 million in economic impact? Who knew? It's hard to say, but guess what? The lake isn't finished giving back. In August, we broke ground on the state's largest office development project in history, Marina Heights, located on the south shores of Tempe Town Lake. This project is massive. It doesn't just suggest thinking big, it is big. It's 2 million square feet of office and retail space. It represents a $600 million commercial development. If you're counting like we do in the city, this brings the total economic impact of Town Lake to at least $1.4 billion. That's $1.4 billion with a B. Marina Heights will be the new home to State Farm and will be a catalyst for additional development on Town Lake. It will solidify the lakefront, the destination of Class A office space and high-end condominiums. I'd like to recognize John Graham and Heidi Kimball from Sunbelt Holdings. Could you please stand, John and Heidi? And I would also like to recognize John Strittmatter and the folks and the team at Ryan Companies for their leadership and vision for the Marina Heights project. So thank you. Construction on this project is already underway. Ryan Companies is pouring the first of 5 new buildings as we speak. And State Farm has a long history here in Tempe. They're expanding their current location in South Tempe. They have added 900 jobs this year alone. By the time this new facility opens in late 2015, more than 2,100 people will work for State Farm here in Tempe. And when this new campus is complete, it's expected that number will drastically increase significantly. We'd like to thank State Farm for investing in Tempe and yet another for bringing such a high-quality jobs to our community. I'd also like to take a minute just to praise State Farm for the commitment to transit-oriented development. You know, State Farm just didn't stop at $600 million. They invested more. They awarded LISC Phoenix, an organization that focuses on building communities through transit-related projects, a grant to advance development along Apache Boulevard. This grant will support the city's efforts to reinvigorate this area for job creation through business attraction, retention, as well as expansion. I'd also like to thank the Sustainable Communities Collaborative and Shannon Scutari for working with LISC Phoenix to help facilitate opportunities along Apache Boulevard. We appreciate your good work. Just west of Town Lake, at Priest and Rio Salado Parkway, Liberty Property Trust is moving dirt and will officially break ground on a 100-acre project this December. The $17 million generated from the first phase could not only help pay for the new dam, it will also bring development and, at its completion, nearly 6,500 jobs to Tempe. John Duvall is here with us. John, could you please stand? Thank you so much for partnering with the city of Tempe. Thank you, John. Neither Marina Heights nor Liberty Project would exist without the creation of Tempe Town Lake. It was projects like these that Tempe had in mind when final plans were being drawn up for lake construction. Any city would be fortunate to have just one of these projects underway in a year. But there's more. Currently, Tempe is pursuing development of an 11-acre site formerly known as Pier 202. It is located on the Rio Salado Parkway just west of McClintock. It provides an amazing opportunity to build a brand new development, one fitting for the area and deserving of our community. It's an opportunity for us at the city to think big and develop a project that we can be proud of for generations to come. As Tempe Town Lake continues to develop with projects like Pier 202, Marina Heights, Hayden Ferry Lakeside, the Liberty Project, this 3-mile section on the Rio Salado will become one of the most prominent employment corridors in the valley. It is already considered one of the best real estate opportunities in Arizona. Across from Town Lake stands Tempe's most iconic structure. Can anyone guess what that is? It's the Hayden Flour Mill. For years, my colleagues and I have discussed the possibility and the future of our city's most recognizable landmark. Over the years, we've heard from multiple developers interested in the land, but these projects weren't quite right. The council is determined to get this right. 1 month ago, the city issued a request for qualifications that was meant to generate out-of-the-box ideas that will preserve the mill and silos in the Hayden Butte, while also creating an economic opportunity for the city. You know, the flour mill is a unique chance for Tempe to think big, to think smart, and also choose wisely. This landmark is our founding history, treasured by our residents and by our friends at the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. This 5-acre parcel absolutely will be treated with the dignity it deserves. And at the southern end of our downtown is a development of a new hotel conference center called USA Place, which will be located at Mill Avenue and University and owned by ASU. This much anticipated project will feature a 330-room luxury hotel and the city's largest conference center, both operated by Omni Hotels as well in their resorts. It will offer residential and office and retail space. This project represents a $350 million capital investment in our community. When complete, it is expected to bring some 300,000 people to Tempe each year. In addition, we are working to secure a state-of-the-art basketball facility at USA Place that will be the new home for USA Basketball and the Arizona Interscholastic Association. While the development plans and the related agreements for this project are still in the works, it is yet another example of how the city and our partners are thinking big. We're also seeing development in our technology corridor in South Tempe along Price Road and the 101, with the addition of GoDaddy, the new Global Technology Center. The ASU Research Park is almost completely developed. There is, however, a large 50-acre parcel that can serve as a corporate headquarters, a home for research companies or technology-focused businesses. So if there's anyone in office looking to relocate, please see Donna Kennedy. The nearby Discovery Business Campus is a redevelopment project that is also focused on bringing these types of companies to Tempe. And there's room on the 136 acres for 1.6 million square feet of industrial space. What do all these projects mean for our residents? They mean more revenue, which means better services and an excellent quality of life. This, in turn, attracts more companies to our community, and you got it, more jobs. This year, Tempe's Economic Impact Development Team, partnering with the Greater Phoenix Economic Council, the Arizona Commerce Authority, and others, brought more than 5,000 jobs to Tempe through companies like GoDaddy, Union Bank, and Direct Energy. I would like to introduce the team that makes projects like these possible. The members of our community development staff, Director David Nakagawara. We also have team members Alex Smith, Chris Messer, and Hunter Hansen. Thank you, guys. As well, I'd like to introduce our economic development team, our new director, Donna Kennedy, and Shannon Selby. So thank you for all your hard work as well. But it's not just Tempe's quality of life and infrastructure that attracts businesses to our community. It's the abundance of an educated, skilled workers. Tempe is a city that depends on education, not only as institutions of learning, but as job creators. Our universities, colleges, K-12 schools employ nearly 20,000 people, and they help generate the highly skilled workforce that employers are looking for. Tempe has nearly double the valley average of high-tech companies, double. At least 11.5% of Tempe businesses are high-tech based, nearly double compared to the rest of the valley. We are leading the valley, and those numbers make us competitive with Austin, Portland, and Denver. From Honeywell and Freescale to our homegrown firms like SiteWire and LifeLock, many tech companies call Tempe home. Arizona State is vital to our success. It graduated nearly 2,500 students in the sciences and engineering in 2012 alone. But it isn't the only one graduating talented students. The University of Advancing Technology has companies waiting in line to hire its graduates. They come out of UAT skilled in animation, video game production, computer programming, robotics, and more. And there are a dozen colleges in Tempe, including the University of Phoenix, Western International, and the Maricopa County Community College District, the nation's largest community college system. These schools offer easy access and education to those who live in Tempe. And when you think big, you have to think smart, and our educated residents help us do just that. The link between education and economic development success in Tempe is not solely about higher education. As a husband, a son, a brother, and a nephew of teachers, I know that the love of learning starts during the formative elementary, middle school, and high school years. And we have amazing schools in Tempe, and I can honestly say that because I'm a product of our schools. Our Tempe Union High School District reported that in its last graduating class, 49 National Merit Scholarship finalists, 49, and its seniors of those graduating classes earned a staggering $73 million in scholarships. We think big in Tempe. With our excellent schools, there's an opportunity for a child to go to the college of their choice. Tempe Union had a 90% graduation rate, and 87% of those graduates go on to attend college. Those are truly amazing facts. But we at the city know that you can never stop striving. And when my council colleague, Robin Arredondo Savage, looked at those numbers, she saw an opportunity for improvement. Robin has long been a leader in education, and she noticed that there was a lack of assistance for graduating seniors when it came to completing college and trade school applications, finding scholarships, as well as navigating financial aid. Our new College Connect program is a result of this. It is set to launch in January, and more, we are seeing in order to have a successful career, a college or a vocational degree is a prerequisite. I'd like to thank Robin for thinking big about how we can help the leaders of tomorrow. But how are we thinking big for Tempe? What is the best for Tempe's future? How are we working to keep Tempe ahead of the curve? One item that we've been working on for the last year is the Tempe's General Plan 2040, which is set to go to voters this May. We've hosted community meetings to ensure that General Plan 2040 not only is a reflection of what the residents in the city want, but it also leaves us room to think big. Much of the General Plan 2040 focuses on how Tempe can become a 20-minute city, a healthy community that acts with sustainability in mind. Residents that participate in this process put a real emphasis on how Tempe can be a walkable, bikeable, and transit-oriented community. What does it mean to be a 20-minute city? We want to hear from you, and we want you to know that from wherever you live in Tempe, to be able to get to work, recreate, and shop in a 20-minute walk, bike, bus, or light rail ride. And we are closer to that goal than you might think. In 2012, we had 12.3 million boardings on our bus, our orbit, and light rail in Tempe alone. This was the highest number of boardings we have ever seen, and guess what? It's only going to go up. This year, the city is continuing to explore bringing a streetcar to our downtown area. My colleague Shanna Ellis is one of the city's transit representatives on the Metro and Regional Public Transit Authority. She has been involved with the streetcar from the beginning, and I know that we are both looking at how a streetcar will help us attain our goal of a 20-minute city. Also part of that goal is being able to be a bike-friendly community. And Tempe is currently ranked as the 18th most bicycle-friendly city in America. This wasn't by coincidence. We knew that as Tempe and ASU grew, more and more people would look at commuting by bike. And for Councilmember Colby Granville, this is one of his passions. And we appreciate him keeping us all thinking about how we can use our bikes to improve our community. And I am pleased to announce that our regional bike share program with the cities of Phoenix and Mesa will only have the effect of having more of our residents and visitors out and about in Tempe on bikes. Our segment of the bike share program is due to launch in conjunction with Mesa in the spring of 2014, and it will start with stations concentrated around a downtown and light rail lines. While the launch is a bit down the road, I'm excited to welcome the bike share to our community and to partner with Phoenix and Mesa. The General Plan 2040 also places an emphasis on sustainability and conservation and how we can use clean energy solutions to reduce our imprint, whether it be solar, recycling, or water conservation. Vice Mayor Anya Shakurjan has been a strong advocate on sustainability. We value the work she's done to make sure that the city is doing what it can to be environmentally responsible and fiscally sound. Part of thinking big is refusing to be satisfied with the status quo. We must always look at ways to make our city better. That's how our new character area project originally took shape. It started with an idea by Councilmember Joel Navarro to make Tempe's surface streets more unique, that developed Tempe into a more comprehensive look at our neighborhoods, as well as how we plan for our future. The character areas divide the cities into 8 distinct hubs. Together, with input from neighbors, we will inventory our neighborhood's strengths and needs by drilling down into what makes each hub unique. We'll be better positioned to attract new businesses and to add new amenities that our residents most want. Let me give you an example. In the Rio Salado downtown character area, we continue to hear that our residents desperately want a grocery store. The character area project will help make that a reality. Plus, it will find other additional means to improve the quality of life for that neighborhood. You're going to hear more about the character areas in 2014. Your input is very vital. This is your chance to share your thoughts and to shape your neighborhood. We're never done improving our community or thinking big. We can't stay stagnant. We have to move forward. And in some cases, in the process, the residents and property owners may look at their property and ask, is my property really living up to its potential? Does this meet the current needs of the 21st century city? And for those folks, let me just say that Tempe is willing to work with you to find the appropriate way to revitalize it, or if you ask us, possibly rezone your property. What once worked in our community in the 1980s may not meet our needs today, and we need to think about how best to plan for the future. Councilmember Corey Woods and I have been working on this project, on this aspect of the future development for the last several months. Corey not only sees the potential for our city, but he's really excited about it like I am and like the rest of the council. He's excited enough to even go on a 2-hour ride around our city. I really appreciate Corey always working with us on how we can do what's best for our community. These ideas, these big thoughts, are only some of the efforts being made on behalf of Tempe businesses and residents. Every single big success started with an idea. And this morning, I would like to hear yours. At your table, there's a notepad with today's theme. You guessed it, think big. I'd love to have you guys rip out a page of that tablet, write down one idea, and leave it in the bag in the middle of your table. You can also leave your ideas on Facebook page. You can email my office, or if you'd rather tweet it, use hashtag ThinkBigTempe. The point is, the best ideas are the ones that we all share and the ones that we all work together on. I got to tell you, it's very exciting being the mayor of Tempe. There's some exciting things happening in our community. I thank you for your time, your energy, and most of all, I thank you for the support of Tempe. We worked very hard for every inch and every step that we've taken forward. And when you add up every project, every foot gained, you get the clear picture of economic success. We're on the move to realizing our best possible future. I cannot wait to see what happens tomorrow and what the future holds for our community. But I do know that we can't do it alone. And I look for your support as the council does. And again, thank you so much for being here today, and have a great day.